Welcome back to Grandma's Handbag. Great to have you with us. Great to have the handbag back with us. And I've just got a couple of vinyl finds I want to round up again tonight because they keep pouring in, and I'm going to blame all of you guys in the VC. I'm not going to blame you at all, actually. I'm completely of my own volition. I'm addicted to this thing called vinyl, and it's really not a bad way to be, is it? So let's unpack this bag. First things, we'll unpack Grandma's little helper for tonight. It is Brook Laddie, the classic Laddie. So single malt Scotch territory again. Nice and young this one is. They don't give an age statement on it, but I think we're talking at about 6 to 8 years of age, I would say. So it's a bit of a fiery beast. We got 50% alcohol by volume on there, so it needs a bit of water to bring it down. When you do that, it's nice and pale, and it's got a bit of a Scotch mist going on in there too. And yeah, I'm only getting used to this one. It's quite new. Like I said, it's a bit fiery, but there's still a lot of nice stuff going on in there. Very well made. And I have to put a big shout out to Lee B, subscriber. Thank you so much, Lee. Lee's actually delivered this out of extreme graciousness. So I mean, who am I to knock it back if anyone wants to do anything like that? It's absolutely lovely. I mean, but at the same time, I'm just happy to have all of you here watching Grandma's Handbag. So let's get into this one. Short and sweet this week. I should mention as well, we've got Scott Cassow's Islands on the Wyndham Hill label that I picked up pretty recently. Just giving us some lovely background sounds as well. Alright, first one off the rank is a 12-inch of Robert Wyatt's Shipbuilding. And what a great song this is. Love that artwork as well. Just fantastic still of or excerpt of a painting. Beautiful stuff. 1983, 82 or 83 I think it is. Anyway, it's a very, very political song. If anyone hasn't heard it, it's absolutely lovely. Now I can't remember if Wyatt wrote this or if it was an Elvis Costello. Yep, Elvis Costello wrote and I think helped produce as well. And the political aspect comes from, who was it? The Falklands War and Margaret Thatcher. Obviously the notion of you know, keeping industry, a war industry alive, and you know, to be honest, I shouldn't even crap on about it because I haven't read in depth enough on the political aspect. But I have to say the song delivery is just a lovely one. Again, yeah, very, very happy to find that. Now, you know what? I think I paid $10 for this. So I was probably a little bit hasty because it's just something you don't see around anywhere. And there's a little bit of, like, a bit of a tear there. It's quite a thin cover as well. A little bit of ring wear. The record itself is no problem there. There's, even then, it was probably a little bit overpriced. But I'm a sucker for these things, you know. So yeah. Anyway, Robert Wyatt Shipbuilding, very happy to have it. And this one's another interesting one. An Evening Wasted with Tom Lehrer. Tom Lehrer is an American guy. And I was introduced to him by my uncle, Martin. If you're seeing this, thank you, Martin. Look, your taste and things certainly percolate through to me. So Tom Lehrer is basically a novelty or comedy songwriter. So not to everyone's taste, but it's a great insight into humour in the 50s and late 50s and early 60s. So they're comedy songs and things. The best known one that I can remember is poisoning pigeons in the park. So yeah, there's some risque elements and things in there as well. And I think Tom Lehrer might have even started out in America doing these as mail order records for himself before sort of getting picked up by the record companies and put out to a wider thing. Oh, you know what? I bought this for I think $3 or so at a charity shop, and I just realised now there's a newspaper in here from 2003. So I have no idea what this is actually going to display. Oh, here we go. It's a Tom Lehrer article, cover story from 2003. There we go. Very cool. Does anyone else get those sorts of things where you pick up a record, you never see what's inside there? I hear of people picking them up and finding money. Maybe there is in here, I don't know. But has anyone else found anything interesting, any extras in their records? So I can't argue too much with that. That'll be some good reading later. The other selling point with this, it's some very nice quality vinyl, and that glorious Decca gold and you know, rich burgundy red colour. Very, very nice. Lovely condition as well. So something of a novelty, but very happy to have that, and look forward to slipping it on the turntable soon. I only picked it up yesterday, so. Alright, here's another one that's a real fan favourite, or favourite of mine, I have to say anyway. And you know what, I probably need to put this in a, there's a thread going around at the moment for greatest hits ones, and it's John Cale's Guts. It's a challenging cover to say the least. The old hockey mask and guitar there, and of course the background where he's toppled over. But yeah, look, this is a absolutely fantastic collection of what I would argue is some of the most underrated albums of the 70s, and certainly, like, if you put them together in a sequence, it's nearly unparalleled. You know, you could talk about Lou Reed as having you know, great records and things, but for mine, you know, for a while there in the mid-70s, John Cale could do absolutely no wrong. This is a greatest hits collection of his 3 Island albums, which were, from memory, I think you've got Fear, or is it called Fear is a Man's Best Friend? Then you've got Helen of Troy and Slow Dazzle. So this selects from each of those albums. You've got the title track on the first one, Mary Lou and Helen of Troy. Then you've got John Cale's version of Jonathan Richman's classic Pablo Picasso, Leaving It Up to You, which I'm pretty sure comes off of Slow Dazzle from memory anyway. Fear is a Man's Best Friend turns up on here. Then we've got Gun, which is just a fantastic, I don't know, 8-minute jaunty sort of churning beast. You know, it just doesn't quit. Every time Gun comes on, always happy to go for the ride with that. And then you've got Dirty Ass Rock and Roll, and finally John's fantastic and you know, almost avant-garde version somehow of Heartbreak Hotel. Really, really great stuff. I'll get the record out because I do love these island labels as well. Daytime and nighttime. John Cale's Guts. Very, very happy. You know, I know I say that with every record, but seriously, I've been trying to find Fear and Helen of Troy on vinyl for goodness knows how long. 2 copies of Slow Dazzle, but those other 2 just elude me, you know. And yeah, it's just starting with Paris 1919 and then those 3 albums that are summarised in this record is just about the equal of any 70s artist I can think of. Pretty biased though. This next one, again $3, and it's a little hard to leave for all of that. Dexys Midnight Runners, 2Rai, and it's got the timeless Come On Eileen on here. Now, I'm pretty late to the party with Dexys, I have to say. I didn't even really put 2 and 2 together that Come On Eileen was in fact Dexys Midnight Runners until, you know, a couple of years ago or so. So again, I only picked this up yesterday. And overall, look, for $3, not in too bad condition at all. You've got the artwork, oh sorry, the lyric insert there, and not too bad condition. It'll clean up nice anyway on the Mercury label. Fantastic stuff. Now, I just noticed on here, this one's labelled Kevin Rowland and Dexys Midnight Runners. Is that always been that way there? Can you see that? Did they not come out first simply as Dexys? And where was Searching for the Young Soul Rebels? Was that before 2Rai or after? Yeah, if anyone knows that, leave us a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. And lastly, for this week, short and sweet hopefully, is a favourite album of mine. It's a re-release from last year, and it's actually sounding pretty bloody good as well. We got the Verve's first album, A Storm in Heaven. Look, this is an era of the Verve I really love. I actually think by urban hymns they were starting to run out of steam. And while I love this album, their next album, A Northern Soul, I would probably put as their best album. But here the energy is sort of undeniable on there. Very heavy influences of Can that I get from here. There's those sorts of, I don't know, one of the criticisms of the Verve about this time was that basically they couldn't write a song. Everything was just this rolling jam. And if you sort of think of the album, and these guys were, you know, 20 years old, 21 years old at the most, sort of when they were writing and performing these songs. They're pretty young. Whether songcraft or not was, you know, pop songcraft anyway, was in their canon. That Can influence of those just sort of long and rolling jams where you've just got this heavy bass and drum beats anchoring a song down, and then you got lots of sort of spiraling guitars from, geez, I'm forgetting his name right now, from Nick McCabe. You know, he just sort of almost puts these ambient storm clouds of sound out over the top of these, you know, the drum and bass sort of rhythm beds, and you got Mad Richard Ashcroft on top, intoning as he does. It's just, you know, there's a real formula in there, but for all of that, it's fantastic stuff. Very psych, very shoegazer-ish, very 90s versions of it as well. But yeah, fantastic stuff. I'm sure if people are fans, they'd know of this, but if you haven't really checked out early Verve and you're hearing, you know, those sorts of other influences in there, make sure you check it out. Yeah, and as I said, this is a pretty good copy as well. Not that I've got an original to compare, but, you know, no complaints on my end at all. Very nice. And there's the vinyl labels on there. So yeah, again, very happy to have it. I will pick up their second album soon. And what are people doing at the moment with the hype stickers you see on new records? I've got a few more new records coming in, and I can't wait to get those onto video and out to you guys. But I've just started putting them on the actual inner sleeves here, because, you know, half the time I throw them out, but yeah, they've got their own story to tell as well. So yeah, hopefully that makes a little point of interest to remember when I pick them up. Anyhow, that's it for me for another episode. Cheers to all of you out there. Thank you to all of you for watching and subscribing. Yeah, I wanted to make these once a month, but as I said, the affliction at the moment means that I'll be there could be more than 1 or 2 record roundups for the next month or 2, so can't wait to show you what else is coming up soon. In the meantime though, I hope you're doing well. Enjoy your records, and make sure you check back in again, because you never know what you're going to find in Grandma's handbag. Good night.